If I asked you, when are you going to retire, you'd probably say something like, oh, in a few years, or maybe right when I turn 65. And that makes perfect sense, right? It's how we all think about it. But what if I asked you a different question? What if I asked, what month are you going to retire? See, that one's a little different. It's a question that usually stops people in their tracks.
We're so conditioned to think about retirement in terms of a specific age or target year, but almost nobody thinks about the specific month they'll walk out of the office for the last time. And as we're about to find out, that one choice, that single month, can completely shape one of the most complex and most important financial years of your entire life.
So let's really dive into this. In this explainer, we're going to tackle this overlooked retirement question. We'll talk about your unique transition year, the huge financial ripple effects, how it hits your portfolio and healthcare, and even the emotional side of things. And then we'll talk about how you can take control of your plan.
All right, first up, let's talk about why this question is so often overlooked. We're really going to get into what actually changes in your finances if you decide to retire in, say, January versus December. The very first concept we need to get our heads around is that the year you retire is, well, it's a very, very strange year financially. It's not like any of the years you were working, and it's not like any of the years that will follow in retirement. It's this special, one-time only transition period. We call this the retirement transition year. It's this one-of-a-kind calendar year where your old financial life and your new one collide. Your income from working and your new income from retirement literally overlap, and it all gets mashed together on a single tax return.
And this overlap creates something I like to call the income stack. Now, this is a really, really important idea. So let's break down exactly what's inside this stack.
Just think about it like this. In the year you retire, your tax return suddenly becomes this weird mix of all kinds of money. You've got your regular wages for part of the year. You might get a final bonus or a payout for all that vacation time you never took. On top of that, you could start getting your first pension checks, your first Social Security payment, and you might even take your first withdrawal from your IRA or 401k. All these different streams of money just get stacked one on top of the other on one tax return for that 1 year.
And this right here is exactly why that income stack is so critical. Look at the left side. If you retire late in the year, say in December, you've got almost a full year of your working salary already. Any retirement income you take is just piled right on top of that. This creates a really high income year, and it can easily push you into a much higher tax bracket. But now look at the right. If you retire early in the year, maybe in February, your work income stops after just a couple of months. This creates a low income year, which keeps your tax bill way, way more manageable. So your retirement month basically decides if your transition year is a high income year or a low income year. And that one simple difference creates these massive ripple effects that can touch almost every part of your financial plan. Let's look at the first one.
Okay, the first big ripple is how it affects your Social Security. Whether or not your Social Security benefits get taxed depends on this. Well, it's a special calculation that the IRS uses called provisional income. It's not your total income, so don't get confused. It's a specific formula where they add up your wages, withdrawals from retirement accounts, and other income, and then they add half of your Social Security benefit to that number.
This chart shows you the result perfectly. If you retire in December, your provisional income is going to be high because it's got almost a full year's salary in it. That makes it almost certain that the maximum amount, a whopping 85% of your Social Security benefit, will be subject to income tax. But if you retire in February, your provisional income is much, much lower. This could mean only 50% of your benefit gets taxed, or maybe even none of it. That is a huge difference.
Now let's move on to the next big one, Medicare. A lot of people think that the monthly premium for Medicare is the same for everybody. Well, it's not. There can be an extra charge, a surcharge, based on your income. It's called IRMAA, which is short for Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. And here's the really tricky part about IMRAA, the part that catches so many people. It's not based on what you're earning now. It's based on your income from 2 years ago. So if you retire and create that massive high-income transition year, Medicare is going to see that tax return 2 years down the road, and they'll hit you with higher premiums, even though you're not earning that high income anymore. It's a really frustrating trap to fall into. And just to be clear, we're not talking about a small fee here. This IRMAA penalty can add hundreds of dollars a month to your Medicare premiums. That's a significant, ongoing expense that, in a lot of cases, you could have completely avoided just by picking a different month to retire.
All right, enough of the bad news. Let's talk about opportunities. Creating a low-income transition year opens up the door for a really powerful financial strategy called a Roth conversion. Basically, this is where you move money from a pre-tax account, like your traditional IRA, over to a post-tax Roth IRA. Now, you do have to pay income tax on the money when you move it, but after that, it can grow and be withdrawn completely tax-free later on. The whole trick is to do this when your tax rate is as low as it can possibly be.
And this is exactly where timing is everything. If you retire in December, that high-income year makes doing a Roth conversion incredibly expensive because you're paying tax on it at a very high rate. But if you retire in March, your income drops right away, and that creates this beautiful window of opportunity where you can convert money at a much, much lower tax rate. This one simple difference in timing could literally save you tens of thousands of dollars in taxes over your lifetime.
Now, beyond all the big tax issues and government benefits, your retirement month affects several other critical parts of your financial life. Let's look at a few more of these timing factors. First, let's talk about your investments. If you retire in January, you need to start pulling money from your portfolio to live on for the whole year. But if you retire in December, you might only need to pull out 1 month's worth of expenses. Taking out less money in that very first year is so important. It helps protect you from something scary called sequence of returns risk, which is really just the bad luck of having to sell your investments when the market is down, right when you're starting retirement. Next up is healthcare. Retiring early in the year can make the switch from your job's health insurance to your new plan much, much cleaner. It helps you avoid those awkward gaps in coverage or the big headache of having to pay 2 different insurance deductibles in the same calendar year. And finally, pensions. Some company pension plans have this really interesting rule. If you work just 1 single day into a new year, they'll give you credit for the entire year of service. That means retiring on January 2nd instead of December 31st could permanently increase your monthly pension check for the rest of your life. You've got to check the specific rules for your plan, but it's a huge deal. Beyond all the spreadsheets and the numbers, we can't forget the human side of this decision. The month you choose to retire can have a really big emotional impact on how you transition into this completely new chapter of your life.
Just think about it for a second. Retiring in December can feel so rushed and chaotic, right? You've got the holidays, year-end deadlines at work. There's just a lot of stress in the air. But retiring early in the year, in January or February, often feels like a true clean slate. It's the start of a new calendar year, and you get this wonderful psychological fresh start, which can be just incredibly valuable when you're making a life change this big.
So when you put it all together, the taxes, the impact on Social Security and Medicare, the chances you get for Roth conversions, and even the emotional side of it, the conclusion is pretty clear. The month you choose to retire absolutely, positively matters.
And that's really what this whole conversation boils down to. It's about control. Most of us think our retirement date is just some fixed point in time. But by choosing your retirement month with intention, you gain a huge amount of control over your financial outcome in that first critical year. And this isn't just about avoiding costly mistakes. It's about actively creating opportunities for yourself.
So the big question is, what's the perfect month for you? And the honest truth is, it depends on your specific situation, your income, your pension rules, your personal goals. But more often than not, retiring earlier in the calendar year gives you the cleanest break, the most flexibility, and the most tax-efficient transition into this new life. It gives you the most control.
That very first year of retirement really sets the stage for everything that comes after. And thinking carefully about the month is the key to making sure that your retirement journey begins in the best possible way. If you found this explainer helpful, please like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Retirement Finance Explained, for simple and clear guidance on retirement, savings, and financial security.